Our fascinating Earth. Miguel, I noticed last night at my baseball game that it didn't get dark until the game was nearly over. When I play in September, it seems like the stadium lights come on early in the second inning. Why do you think that happens? Marissa, I've always assumed that in the summertime, Earth is closer to the sun. That's why it's hotter and stays light longer. Axel, I don't know if it has anything to do with the distance to the sun, but I think that the Earth rotates slower in the summer months. Jasmine, what I've heard is the Earth always rotates at the same speed, but the sun burns brighter in the summer months. Ben, all of you guys are wrong. The tilt of the Earth is what causes it to be lighter in the summer. Every few months, the Earth flips on its axis, and that determines the seasons. From this discussion, who is correct? We have all probably watched the sunset on the horizon, but unless you're an early bird, you might have never seen the sunrise. Have you ever wondered, where does the sun go when we can't see it? Well, the sun goes nowhere. It is the Earth, or it is us who are moving. What is the Earth's axis, or what would be called the imaginary line on the Earth? It's not the equator. The equator divides the Earth into the middle, southern and northern hemispheres. What we're talking about is an imaginary line called the axis. The axis is actually an imaginary line that divides the Earth in half from the North Pole to the South Pole. The Earth is spinning around the sun every day, and we call this day and night. When part of the Earth is facing away from the sun, we call this night. The other part of the Earth is facing towards the sun. We call this day. We also need to understand that the Earth is moving around the sun like a big circle called a year. This is called a revolution. That takes place 365 days in a year. One revolution? Oh, think about your birthday. It only comes around once a year. So, the Earth is rotating around on its axis, creating day and night. At the same time, the Earth is revolving all the way around the sun once a year? Yes. Let's add another part to the fascinating story of our Earth. The Earth is not straight up and down. It's actually tilted slightly. This is very important. Can anybody explain why? What this does to the Earth's surface is that it makes different parts of the Earth receive different amounts of heat and light at different times of the year. This produces a pattern that happens the same over and over, and this was introduced in our beginning story about why baseball games are different in summer and in the fall. What is this pattern called? Correct. This pattern is called seasons. When the part of the world you're living in is leaning towards the sun, it is warm, and the days are long. What season would that be? Yes, summer is correct. When the other part of the world you're living in is actually leaning away from the sun, this is when we have, shorter days and it's cold. What is this season called? Winter, yes. I love winter. So, what looks to us to be the motion of the sun in the sky is really caused by the motion of the Earth. So, can you tell me from the opening story who is right, who was wrong? Our fascinating Earth.